Two 17-year-old boys flogged and secretly executed in Iran. Amnesty International says Iranian officials have lashed and secretly executed two 17-year-old cousins in southern Iran. The rights watchdog said Mehdi Sohrabifar and Amin Sedaghat were executed on April 25th at the Adelabad prison in Shiraz, the capital of the southern Fars province. The two were arrested at age 15 and convicted on multiple rape charges after what international rights groups said was an unfair trial. Philip Bluffer, Amnesty International's Middle East and North Africa director, said, "The Iranian authorities have once again proved that they are sickeningly prepared to put children to death in flagrant disregard of international law." Female fan arrested for entering football stadium in Isfahan. A young female fan of football was arrested by the state security forces in Flogged Stadium in Isfahan. Fatima D, a female fan of Persepolis, entered the stadium posing as a man. Within 40 minutes after the start of the game, however, she was identified by the SSF and arrested. At the police station, Fatima was interrogated and finally released after her parents came to collect her. She was instructed to appear before the court the next morning. At the court, she was informed of her charge of entering a sports stadium while dressed in a man's outfit. Then she committed herself in writing that she would never enter any stadium again. Pompeo confident China trade talks will not be hurt over Iran oil sanctions. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Monday expressed confidence that trade talks between the United States and China will not be affected by the end of Iran oil waivers this week. Pompeo warned countries and companies that it would be a costly mistake to violate US sanctions by importing Iranian oil after Wednesday, when the waivers for 8 importers end. Pompeo: Iran is instructing Yemen's Houthis to reject political process. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Monday accused the Iranian regime of directing Yemen's Houthi rebels to renege on commitments they made in Stockholm last December and continue fighting. The Houthis continue to refuse to comply with the agreements they signed up for in Stockholm, Sweden. They refuse to withdraw from the port of Hodeidah. This is because Iran has chosen to direct them to do that, Mr. Pompeo said at an event in Washington hosted by the Hill newspaper. Iran's rulers speak of cyberspace restrictions as conditions worsen. Controlling social networks at the time of crises is a must that should seriously be considered, says the head of the Iranian regime's passive defense organization, Brigadier General Gholamreza Jalali. Echoing repeated calls of the Islamic Republic's conservative authorities for more restrictions on using the internet in Iran, Jalali asserted, during crises, social networks provoke people against the government and pressure the executive administration. Therefore, it should be controlled. As economic conditions worsen in Iran, people in the ruling establishment voice more concern about possible unrest. Experience of the last 10 years show that social media can be used effectively to mobilize protesters in Iran. Iranian troops evacuate from Syria's Deir al-Zor. Iran has begun evacuating its troops from the Syrian eastern town of Deir al-Zor after an unidentified aircraft allegedly flew over the area for half an hour. Local sources said Iranian forces have started evacuating from its headquarters in Syria's Deir al-Zor after an unidentified aircraft fell over the area for 30 minutes. The sources added that the aircraft was not Russian, Iranian, or Syrian.